The Zero Friction Machine Company, a Dr. MindBlendr production. The Zero Friction Machine Company is not a company, not a machine, not a zero, not friction, not one, not many. It is a blend of all these things, an alloy poured into a mold that does not exist, an engine that hums inside the skull of history. It is the kind of name one might hear in a fever dream, scratched on the wall of an abandoned factory, stamped on the underside of a rusted gear. The company is not a building. It is not registered with the state. It does not have a tax identification number. Its employees are the dead. Its managers are the wounded. Its shareholders are the ones who keep writing. And yet, when one speaks of it, when one writes its name, the company appears like a shimmer over hot asphalt, like a page that will not stay blank. Zero friction means the impossible dream of smooth passage, the fantasy that thought could move without grinding, that desire could flow without blockage. The machine means articulation, linkages, gears, the grinding truth that every flow is engineered, every smoothness assembled out of hidden resistance. The company means fellowship, but also incorporation, the gathering of disparate fragments into one stamped entity. Put them together, Zero Friction Machine Company, the corporate hallucination that manufactures metaphysical goods. The company was not founded in a year that can be named. It was not founded at all. It erupted, like a crack in the sidewalk through which weeds force their green persistence. It coalesces around fragments, sound and light, collision of authority. The seven corners of life. Each fragment is a prototype, a trial run, a test case. They appear in notebooks, on napkins, in hospital rooms, in diner booths, and the company seizes them, clasps them in its greasy hands, stamps them with its insignia. The fragments are its true capital. What does the Zero Friction Machine Company produce? Not cars, not guns, not iPhones, not shoes. It produces fragments. Yes, the fragment is its first and most essential product. The fragment is a splinter of the absolute, broken off from the great block of being, still sharp with the memory of its origin. The fragment is neither whole nor incomplete. It is a complete incompleteness, a shard that contains its own cosmos. The company gathers them, classifies them, releases them like spores. To read a fragment is to be infected. To carry a fragment is to be an employee. Second product, the field plate. Imagine a diagram that is also a relic, a symbol that is also a wound, a drawing that is also an incantation. That is the field plate. Circles intersect, spirals fold, tiders stalk across coordinates, words are inscribed around borders. The field plate is not meant to be understood in the ordinary sense. It is meant to be inhabited. One stares at it long enough and the categories begin to dissolve, the lines wiggle, the symbols shimmer. The field plate is the company's attempt to manufacture a visual grammar for metaphysical experience. Each one is a machine for thought, an engine that spins silently on the page. Third product, the voice. This company is not silent. It does not produce in secrecy. It speaks, and what it produces are voices. Bernard, who speaks of broken bodies, of pain, of fuck, of moral intelligence in the wound. The philosopher, who arranges thought like a geometry, patient, exact, circling around Aristotle, Hegel, Kierkegaard. The cat, sly, mocking, purring, scratching, speaking from within the box of paradox. Christina, bureaucratic and ghostly, ordering the spectral files of the diner. Mac, granite-faced, witch hunter, diner patriarch. And yes, myself, Dr. MindBlendr, lit-me slinger, blender of categories, destabilizer of all straight lines. Each voice is a product, each voice is an instrument, each voice can be played like a trumpet or a drum. The company produces voices so that the fragments can sing. Fourth product, the diner. This is no ordinary diner. This is Ms. May's County Kitchen, where it is always Tuesday, where fried chicken sizzles in eternity, where gravy fog condenses into ghosts. The diner is the company's great immersive product, its virtual reality, its total environment. Walk inside and one is trapped in a time loop, sipping coffee with the dead, overhearing Caleb's whispered fears, watching Christina shuffle ghostly paperwork. The diner is produced again and again, each time someone writes of it, each time someone imagines its booths in its jukebox. The company manufactures it the way a dream manufactures a room, instantaneously, without materials, but with absolute conviction. Fifth product. Pain. Strange, yes, but true. The company produces pain, or rather, it refines it, distills it, shapes it into meaning. The broken spine, the abscess, the elevated CRP levels, the fentanyl patch, the oxycodone tablet. These are raw materials. The company takes them in and produces essays, reflections, litanies. Pain becomes narration. Narration becomes philosophy. Philosophy becomes product. The Zero Friction Machine Company does not alleviate pain. It records it, sanctifies it, makes it part of its archive. This is not a medical company. This is a metaphysical one. Sixth product. Time devices. Ordinary companies produce clocks and watches. This company produces loops, spirals, delays, folds. Waiting well, sacred geometry of delay, homesick journals. These are not mere titles. They are time products, distortions of chronology. The company manufactures time not as tick-tock, but as resonance, echo, stutter. It produces moments that refuse to pass, hours that loop back, days that never end. To own a time device is to find oneself waiting forever, or waiting well, or waiting within a geometry that does not resolve. Seventh product, ghost contracts. Every company needs contracts, but here, the contracts are signed not in ink but in absence. One agrees not to terms and conditions, but to hauntings and obligations. The ghost contract binds the living to the dead, the speaker to the fragment, the writer to the archive. The signature is a cough, a scar, a laugh at the wrong time. Once signed, one cannot leave. The company owns you, not as a boss owns an employee, but as a story owns a character. Eighth product, myths. Perhaps the most potent product of all. The company produces its own myth, endlessly, recursively. It whispers of itself, tells its own story, expands its legend. Every essay, every lyric, every diagram is another chapter in the myth of the Zero Friction Machine Company. This myth is its most valuable product because it is self-sustaining. To believe in the company is to help produce it. To speak of the company is to become part of its machinery. Ninth product, collisions. Yes, collisions themselves, as products. Collision of authority, collision of thought, collision of pain and silence. These are manufactured events, orchestrated clashes. The company thrives not on smooth glide, but on the sparks of impact. Frictionless surfaces colliding still produce thunder. Each collision is an artifact, packaged and delivered into the archive. 10th product, archives. Every company needs storage, but here the archive is the product itself. Inventories, classifications, field plates, dossiers, case files, journals, notebooks, PDFs, all stamped with the insignia. The archive is not passive. It manufactures itself, generates new slots, new categories, new legends. The company sells nothing but archives, and in those archives are worlds. 11th product, weapons of language. English itself is forged, twisted, weaponized. The company takes words and turns them into blades, clubs, grenades. Essays like Weaponization of English are not analyses, but product demonstrations. To read them is to feel the weapon in the hand. Language itself becomes a machine of friction and zero friction, slicing through silence, detonating categories. 12th product, characters. Not merely voices, but figures who walk, eat, fight, mourn. Caleb, the apprentice witch hunter, dripping fear and dimensions. Christina, the haunted HR manager. Mac, the granite diner patriarch, witch hunter purist. Miss Kelly, deceased but remembered. Chuck Lawson, artist and teacher. Each character is a product line, produced by the company for deployment in stories, lyrics, myths. They are not fictional in the ordinary sense. They are manufactured presences, employees of the company, who never clock out. 13th product, diagrams of the impossible, spirals that fold into themselves, corners that add act, happy, mysterious active. RT, pat. Lines that laugh at rulers, circles that snicker at straight edges. The geometry itself is mocked, twisted, remade. These diagrams are not mathematical, but metaphysical. They are blueprints for impossible architectures. The company produces them like an architect produces sketches, except the buildings are made of thought and dream. 14th product, the laugh. Do not underestimate this. The company produces laughter, mocking, bitter, joyful, derisive. The laugh of the circle at the ruler, the laugh of the cat at the physicist, the laugh of Christina slamming her tea. The laugh that accompanies pain, transforms it, defies it. The laugh is one of the company's sharpest products. 15th product, the torrent itself. Yes, these words, this litany, this cascading avalanche. The company produces torrents of speech, word after word, phrase after phrase, like gears grinding, like sparks flying. The torrent is both product and process. It overwhelms, it drowns, it refuses to stop. It is not a report, not a marketing brochure. It is the very machinery speaking. And so, the list goes on. But the list is never complete. Every time the company speaks, it produces a new product. Every time a fragment appears, a new line of production begins. The company cannot be mapped, cannot be cataloged fully. Its products are endless, because its factory is the human imagination itself, wounded and laughing, haunted and relentless.